7-year-old girl who had to watch me and my brothers jump her daddy after school, I'm sorry. I know that was probably a traumatizing experience for you, but we kept asking you to stop bullying my daughter and you wouldn't listen. We sent letters home. We even had a meeting with you and your parents and you wouldn't listen. So now you know your actions have consequences. And since you too young to receive those consequences, you had to watch your daddy take those consequences. Get some therapy. You'll be all right. A lot of y'all keep asking why I didn't fight this man one-on-one and why I got my brothers to jump him in front of his 7-year-old daughter. And the answer is simple. Life is not fair. You get jumped by responsibilities every day. Bullying is not fair because you're picking on somebody that's essentially a weaker vessel and that's smaller than you. So I wanted to make sure she saw what it looked like when a fight is not fair and you don't have no choice but to let somebody jump you, so she could get the concept of what she was doing. Sometimes kids learn from what they see and not what they hear. So I wanted it to be a visual experience, okay? I'm out here doing the Lord's work, okay? God is pleased with me whether or not y'all are.
Something to think about. In this video, we hear a father talk about his 7-year-old daughter being bullied in school by a classmate, and after numerous attempts meeting with the teacher and parents, the bullying has not stopped. So the father decided to take matters into his own hands, and he and his brothers beat the bully girl dad up in front of her, hoping to teach her a lesson. That all actions have consequences, and because she's too young to suffer the consequences at this time, her dad had to suffer those consequences on her behalf. I'm paraphrasing here, obviously. I think we can all agree that as adults and parents, we are not trained on how to respond to these types of situations. For the most part, we just pray we don't ever end up in these types of situations. But when we do find ourselves in these situations, we normally do the first thing that comes to mind. We do what we're most comfortable with, and that often resolves to violence. But Dad, here's something to think about. It appears the actions you took were more focused on teaching the other kid a lesson, but what lesson did you teach your kid? If violence was your option, perhaps fighting the girl's dad, the fair one, would have given your daughter the inspiration and courage to stand up for herself. Help her understand that you win some and you lose some, but you stand up for yourself at all cost. You never let anyone bully you. Your message may have translated as whenever someone is bothering you, call someone else to come help you. If you decided to choose violence, having your brothers help fight the other dad was soft of you. I know if I was the other girl or her dad, I wouldn't take being jumped as a lesson or a consequence. I would translate that as you were scared to fight a fair one. Now you and your daughter look soft. I see you have braces, so I'm sure you needing backup had a lot to do with that. No one wants to have their braces knocked out of their mouth. They are very expensive. I get it. But please make sure your daughter understands what you did to the girl's dad, and what the bully did to her is not okay. If the bullying is taking place at school, let's hold the school accountable. It is their job to address bullying at school. Now if you want the smoke, cool. Just make sure your baby girl sees her dad can hold his own just like you would want her to do now and forever. Because just like you won't always be around, neither will your brothers. Just something to think about.